Very good morning to one and all. So I'm going to share my desktop so that you are able to see my presentation. So students, is my browser window visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Browser window, desktop, okay, fine. Thanks for your response. So this is what the session we are going to see today. Students, am I audible to everyone? My voice is clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Okay, fine. Thanks for your response. The subject, name, and the code, whatever you are studying for this semester or I'm handling is UDIT C03. Then the course name is Object Oriented Programming. The topic we are going to see today or discuss today is Introduction to C++. Yesterday, we somewhat started the Introduction to C++ topic. And then today we are going to see elaborately. There's a continuation of the yesterday's class. That is what the thing. The session plan. Ajanta, attendance at the start and end of the session. Introduction about myself, Netiquettes, learning objective and outcome, recap of previous class, introduction about the topic, then detailed explanation about the topic, summarization, then at last Q&A feedback if any. This is what the plan for this session. So at first, as per Ajanta, I'm going to take the attendance. So please unmute your audio and then mark your presence. Mohammed Riti Sam, Babita, Christina, Danushma, Vishnunath,
Present, sir.
Akash,
Present, sir.
Akash, yes,
Present, sir.
Jabbar, Aravind, Ashwin Vinod,
Present, sir.
Ashutosh Padi,
Present, sir.
Ashwin Nair, Balaji,
Present, sir.
Bhaskar, Bhuneshwaran,
Present, sir.
Gautam Reddy,
Present, sir.
Jagadishwaran, Kishore V,
Present, sir.
Krishna Prasad,
Present, sir.
Mohammad Amimullah,
Present, sir.
Mohammad ARS, Murali Krishna, Praveen Balaji,
Present, sir.
Premnath,
Present, sir.
Rakesh,
Present, sir.
Regis Benny, Rishabh Bandia, Rohan Kumar, Sankar Lingam, Sarang,
Present, sir.
Sadish, Sheikh Sajan, Shahrukh Basha, Shobit,
Present, sir.
Srirak,
Present, sir.
Sri Sanjay,
Present, sir.
Sri Hariram, Srilesh,
Present, sir.
Vignesh, Vikram,
Present, sir.
Vikram, present, sir. Present, sir.
yeah, Vivek Kumar,
Present, sir.
Vivek Kumar Singh, Vivek R, Yogi,
Present, sir.
Hari Arjun, Kolayash, Jagannathan, Hemachandran,
Present, sir.
Ramaya Muthu. Fine. Okay. So we are getting back to our presentation. So introduction about myself and etiquettes to be followed. We discussed so many times so far. So I'm not going to going for that slide. The next one, learning objectives and outcome. So this is a learning objective to learn basic concepts of object-oriented programming, and then after studying this, you are going to attain the level like to apply the object-oriented approach to programming and identify potential benefits of object-oriented programming to solve engineering problems. So you are going to apply the concepts whatever you study, and you are going to develop the program. That is what the thing. So with this, we are moving to our topic today. So before that, I am going for the recap of previous session. That is yesterday's class. So yesterday we discussed the rest of the concepts under OOP principles. So rest of the concepts, whatever we discussed are, we started from the fourth concept, that is inheritance. It means we are going to inherit, or you are going to entirely taking a copy of the existing code to the newer one. This one class consists of functions. You are going to take that functions, member variables, and going to same having the copy of the same into the another class. That is what the inheritance. So the main purpose of this using inheritance is reusability of code. That is what we discussed. Then the next concept, polymorphism. It means the data are going to taking up more than one form, or data are going to take multiple forms. It is what the polymorphism. So under that, there are two types available: compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. So under compile time polymorphism, there are two subtypes or two subcategories. They are first one function overloading and the second one operator overloading. And then second, next thing, the runtime polymorphism, we are having the virtual functions. So this is what the polymorphism concept. Then the next one is dynamic binding. So we are going to bind the values with its variables, that is with its corresponding variables. That is what the binding. If it is happens within the program, it is we supplied the value within the program itself, it is called a static binding. If you are supplying the value during the execution time, that is runtime, then it is called as the dynamic binding. This is what the dynamic binding. Then the next one, message passing. In the sense, the object going to communicate with the other objects or objects. That is what the object communication or message passing. So with that, the entire OOPS concept gets over, so that we started our next topic, that is introduction to C++. So in that, we discussed who is the inventor, in which place it's get invented. That is, in AT&T Bell Laboratories, in the early 1980s, C++ program get developed by Jane Stostrom. So he is the inventor. In at the very start, it is named as C with classes. That is C programming with class. Later, C++ with class. Later, it can be renamed as C++. That is what that is in 1983. This was a short introduction about C++. After that, we started the structure of C++ program. It is how you are going to write or how you are going to start our C++ program. That is what we discussed so far in the yesterday's class. So today's class, we are going to see, or we are going to discuss about the structure of C++ program. This is what. So, why we are going to use this structure? Maybe you can have a question whether we want to follow any specific structure. The answer is obviously yes. Why it is because means at the very start of our first class, I told that why the name programming language. Why it is because means in each and every language we are following some set of rules to learn. It is to study, to write, and then to interpret. The same way we are following some rules. Technically, in programming, we call that as a syntax. So we are following some syntax to write the program, to learn the program, to interpret the program. That is what the programming is also called as programming language. In the sense, you are going to follow, you are going to adhere some set of rules. That is the structure of C++. Students, am I audible to everyone? Are you
Yes, sir.
following me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Fine. Thanks for your response. So the first one, header file declaration section under structure of C++ program. This is an important 16 mark, 14 mark question in your exam point of view. Then the second one, global declaration section. The next one, class declaration and method definition. And the next one, main function. And at last, method definition function. So we are going to see this in elaborate manner. That is first one, header file declaration section. In the sense, each and every programming language starts with the header file. That is the library function. Why we are starting with the header file or header files or with the library functions means we are telling that compiler that whatever the thing I am using within my program are available with this library functions or header files. That is what we are insisting directly to the compiler. Nowadays, some of the invented programs are not having this header file section at all. For example, if you are going if you are using the Python programming, there are no specific header file at all. You can start straight away the declaration of your variable and then initialization of the variable. That is what the Python program. So some of the programs, if you take the in the web designing, if you take Joomla, there are so many programming languages nowadays coming without the header files. But if you take the older programming languages like C, C++, Java, they are having or they are following the same pattern, header files pattern. So in the header file, all the functions, whatever you are using, for example, if you are knowing C programming language means in that you are using the function call or you are using the statement call scanf printf. Then you are using the functions like CLR, SCR, that is clear screen, get ch. So those are all comes under some library functions or header files. Generally, most of the used functions, the basic programming level, or comes under the header files called iostream.h in C++. That is what the thing. Some cases, that is in the third point, some cases we can also have the user defined header file. In the sense, you can write your own program, save it, and then the same program with that name can be called upon in the next program. That can be used as in the other program. That is what we call as user defined header file. Then The last point, all preprocessor directives are written in this section. That is, we can use hash include, we can use hash def. That is also comes under part of this. So these are some of the sections. So whatever the function statements we are using, we are going to include in the program. That is what the header file section. So you want to start with the header file section. That is what the thing. So hash include, that is preprocessor directive. IO stream is the header file or library function. Then the second one, global declaration section. I will zoom it so that you can able to see. So global declaration section. So what is the thing means here? The global variables are declared here. In the sense, declaring the structure, declaring the class, declaring the variable. So what is the meaning for this global declaration means you are declaring any variable. Most probably we declare the variable only apart from this structure, apart from this class. So you are declaring the variable globally. For example, if any one of calculation given in front of you, you want to do the calculation. In the sense, I will tell the example, 10 to the power of minus 9 divided by 10 to the power of minus 3. If it is given to you means you want to make a calculation. Am I right? Students, am I right? 10 to the power of minus 9 divided by 10 to the power of minus 3 means you want to make some operation, division operation or subtraction operation or addition operation, anything you want to do. Am I right, Pa?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but if anyone comes and asks you what is the value of pi in mathematics, what you tell? Whether you do any calculation or straight away answer, give you answer.
Straight answer.
Straight away you give the answer. The value of pi is this much. So at the very start of our schooling, we are insisted that the value of pi is this one. That is, it's a universal value. That is what in the programming we call that as a global thing. So if any variable declared outside the function, maybe a class, before the class, before the main function, then it is going to be called as global declaration section. That is what the thing. I will explain the same thing in the programming example, so don't worry about that. Then the next one, class declaration section. So class declaration section means you are going to create the class container. So that is what the main purpose of using this C++ OOP concepts. So class is a specified container. In that we are going to use some variables and some functions. That is what stated here. Class is in the third point. The class is a way to bind and its associated functions together. So we are going to make a wrapping. That is what. Then this section 4, main function. So main function, each and every C program, C++ program starts with the main function. That is, this is the entry point for all of the function. So whatever the functions you return or typed under the class container, those all get called using this main function only. So though you are writer or though you are started with the class header files and then global declaration and then class, the program execution starts from the main function only. That is why C++ is called as bottom up approach. From the bottom only you are going to make a call to the topmost level programs. That is what. So the next one, program execution begins at the opening brace and ends at the closing brace of the main function. That is what. Then the last one, method definition section. Method in the sense, the other name for method is function. So if you are having any function means you can clearly define within the class, or you can also define the same function outside the class. So this is the optional section. Maybe if you have any function definition outside the class means you can define. Otherwise, you are going to skip the section number 5. So this is what the structure of C++ program. So I will tell the same thing with one example. That is, I will going to open up the screen. So this I will close. I will open the C screen, the C++ screen. Somewhat I started for yesterday's class. Um, so this is got the header file hash include iostream.h, hash include ponyo.h. Usually it starts with iostream.h. Some cases, if you are using CLR, SCR, getch in your program, then you want to include another header file called ponyo.h. The abbreviation, sorry, the full form for this IO stream is input output stream.h. Then for Ponyo, console input output. This is what the thing. So students, are you able to see my C++ screen? Blue
Yes.
screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, fine. Then next one, after this, I told that there is a global declaration. So global declaration, what I'm going to do means I'm going to use hash def ine, and then I'm going to use pi. So is equal to 3.14. So this is a known one. So that I'm using pi is equal to 3.14. Instead, you can also use any variable. For example, I'm using y is equal to h. So what is the meaning of this hash define y is equal to 8 means if in the anywhere in the program the variable name y gets encountered, then the value 8 gets substituted in the place of y. That is what the real meaning of global declaration. Okay, I will explain one by one so that you can easily understand. Then after global section, we have the class declaration. So class, I want to give the name class naval. So class name, and then opening brace. After that, I am using the access specifier public. So I will explain all those things. So public, and then after that, I am going to use one function, that is int add. I'm going to use. So opening brace again. So here within this, I am going to use a comma b comma c. So simple addition program only I am writing. So integer a comma b comma c. So here I declared a is equal to 3, b a is equal to 3, then b is equal to h. Now b is equal to 7. I will declare like this. Okay, well? Then next one. After this, what other thing we are going to do means we are going to perform the addition. C is equal to a, then plus b. What the thing we are going to do. So I'm not using any functions or statements. Sorry, not a function, statements like input statement, output statement, because I didn't touch up that portion. Once we completed the input output section, we can also use the the input statement and output statement in our program. Okay, wow. So C is equal to A plus B, and after that return C. So this is what the thing. After that, we are closing the brace of the function, and after that, we are closing the brace of the class. So at last, you want to close the brace of the opened class brace. and you want to put the semicolon. Why it is? Because means you want to insist the compiler that you are having the class container and this is the end of the class container. This is what, because the program starts from bottom to top, so bottom up approach. So from here the program actually starts and here it is actually going to end. That is why we are putting the semicolon in the at the end of the class. That is the meaning. So after that, here we are having, we are creating one object. We want to create one object for the specified class. For example, naval, and then the object name is N. I will explain all those things. So don't be get a fear or don't be panic. So naval N, that is N is the object name. Afterwards, I am using N dot ADD and then open close parenthesis, then putting the semicolon, then clear screen and then get ch. So this is what the program, simple addition program. Okay, so in this, sorry, I didn't use one thing. Yes, right. Forgot to use that. Okay, so with this simple program, I will explain all those things. The first thing, we follow the structure. So in header file structure, then global declaration, then class section, and then main function. We only skip the fifth one, that is method, because here we didn't specify any function outside the class. Everything is in within the class and within the main function. So we are going to skip that fifth section. That is what. So now I will explain all those things very clearly. So class you want to declare with the syntax called class and then class name. So class is the keyword and then you are going to put any name. I gave us naval. Instead, you can put your own name itself. It's not a biggest problem. It's not going to give an error. So any name you can give for the class except the stated keywords. For example, again, if you are using class means it is an error because it's already a keyword. So after that, open braces. So this is called as the access specifiers. So there are three access specifiers available. They are public, then private, then protected. So in the upcoming sessions, we are going to discuss all those things in an elaborate manner. At first, at the very start, I will tell that public. Public means the name itself, it reveals that public. So in that, we are going to use or we are going to type all those things. So if it is going or accessing outside the class means the access specifier only checked at first. Public means anyone can access. That is any class members apart from this class or apart from main function, apart from this function, any main function or any class going to access the variables located under the access specifier public. If it is protected, some access gets granted to some classes, not for the all classes. Here I have only one class. Example, if I having three classes, class naval 1, class naval 2, class naval 3, means naval 1 variables get accessed only to the naval 2, means I gave the access specifier as protected. So we can see elaborately those things. So what is the meaning of this public means any members of any other class going to access the variables functions under this class. That is what the meaning we are exposing or exploiting to the compiler. That is what. Then the next one, int add, means I'm going to use one function. In other words, we can call that as also a method. So students, are you able to follow me up to until this point?
Yes, sir.
No doubts at all. So shall I proceed to the next one? Next point?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks for response. So integer add. So add is the function name I gave. Instead, you can give, yeah, you can give any other name. So integer is the data type. You can use any data types. Instead, you can also void. Void is also another data type. So you can use void. Most probably we use void only. Some cases we can also use any of the data types like integer, float, character. So here I use integer, but the main point to ensure is if you are using the data types called integer, float, or character, string, bool, you want to use the statement called return. If it is void, instead, if I had void, void means I don't want to bother about this return statement. That is what the thing you want to ensure. So here I used int, so I used this return statement. So under this, the very simple thing only, I declare three variables. Under the two initializations I declare, and then I used c is equal to a plus b plus y. So what is the meaning of this a plus b plus y, or what is the meaning of this abc means? It is a variable. Once I came out of this class, there is a no lifetime for this variable because a and b only declared and initialized within this class only. Once I gets out of the class, it's a normal thing, so it don't have any meaning at all. So the declaration and initialization vanishes. Example, I am telling you are belongs to class 3. That is you are in the third year. So you are allocated with one class. Within that class, you are the student of third year naval architecture. Once you come out of the, I mean, came out of the class, you are the student of Ahmad University. Once you get out of the or came out of the Ahmad University campus, you are a normal citizen. That is what. So the lifetime gets changes. Once you came out of the class, you are one thing. Once you came out of the campus, you are supposed to act like this. So this is what the thing. So once the A and B came out of the class, it has no meaning at all. That is what we tell that, or we call that technically as lifetime of the variable. In other words, we can also tell local variable. So the next point is global variable, that is y. So y is declared outside the class. So it can be declared and initialized. So if anywhere I used y within my program, the value of y gets substituted. So it can be available as global. So A and B having the lifetime only within the class, but the variable y having its lifetime all over the program. It is throughout the program. So y variable is going to be called as global variable, and A and B is going to be the local variable. Then one more thing I want to discuss, that is A comma B comma C are the part of the class naval. So this A and A comma B comma C, now we are going to call this as member variable, not with the name variable. So hereafter we are going to pronounce this particular variables as member variables. So A comma B comma C names are member variables of the class naval. Then the next thing, I used one functions also. That is, this is the function I used. This function is situated or located under the class navel. So hereafter, this function is also going to be get called as member function. So member function and then member variables. Why this means they are the members of the class. So member function and then member variables. So now it is very clear that class contains its own member functions and member variables. That is what I want to insist. So class is the container which consists of the member functions and its member variables. This is what I want to tell. Then last section is main. So here, if I am using main means here only the program going to start. So for each and every class creation, you want to have the representative. For example, in your class itself, you are having CC. So what is the role of the CC in your class means he or she is the single point of contact, SPO, SPO. So single point of contact means if the faculty or if any student or if HOD, some cases, dean or anyone in the university going to contact that particular CC person only, so that the CC will represent all the things to you. So that is the role of the CC in your class. Likewise, for each class, we want to create one representative. That representative in the program, or technically, we call that as an object. So naval is the class name. So make sure that here, whatever the name you are typing is as same as the name you given under the class. So this name and this name was same. So after that, this name you can use as per your wish. You can give any other name. I gave N. So instead I can also give N1, N2, N123. Like that. Any other thing I can give. Okay, ma. So this is what the thing. Then what is the purpose of using this object or a representative? That is what the next line. That is N dot then one function name. It means they are the members of this class naval. So in your class, if any faculty, not the subject handling faculty, apart from any other faculty coming to your class and want to contact you means they are going to contact the CC first and then you next. The same thing here going to happen. So there are member functions available, member variables available under one class. But if I want to access that member function or member variable, I want to have one representative. That representative is the object. So with the help of the object only, I am going to invoke the functions or this member functions or the member variable. So how I am going to invoke means the another thing is I am going to use one operator called dot. So this dot is going to call technically as member access operator. I will type this member access operator. So with the help of the member access operator only, the representative going to contact the member functions or member variables. So n dot the function name, whatever located or whatever we typed under the class. So this is the function name I typed. So I used add. After that clear screen, after that get seated. So the program starts with the class and its representative called object. After that object gets called its member function. So the program get transferred, the program line get transferred from this line to this line. So class naval public. So it check for the access specifier. This is the public's access specifier. So no issues at all. So straight away it get into the program and then it will execute all those things and then it will get back to the this line because it's encountered the semicolon. After that clear screen. After that get CH. So this is the way of execution of the program of the C++ program. Students, are you able to follow me? Get my point?
Sure.
Having any queries in this? Because I want to reframing the same program. I'm going to reframe the same program. So still you are having any doubts or queries means you can raise. I will clarify that.
Sir,
Tell pa.
sir, why we are writing like naval N?
That is what I told. Naval is the class name I gave.
Yes, sir.
Instead, we can use any other class name. For example, here I can also use Amit.
No, why we are writing N here, sir?
N here means for the class, we want to create one object. For the class, we want to create one object. That is the basic thing. So that is what I explained still. So in your class, you are having CC. Am I right?
Okay, sir.
In your class, you are having CC. Am I right, Pa?
Yes, sir.
So what is the role of the CC means? He or she is going to act as a representative of yours. If any problem you are facing means you are going to tell the representative. In turn, the representative going to tell the same problem to your mentor and to the HOD as well. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the same thing only. For accessing all the member functions and member variables in the class, we want to assign one representative. That representative name technically we called as object. So it is A is a object. Okay, Opa?
And sir, that why also that we have defined in the starting, that will be like global, like
Yeah, global.
it can be
global.
used in any object, right?
We can use any object. Instead of Y, you can also use X. There is no issues at all. This is just
No,
a
like
name.
if we create another sub object in between the class, inside the class, like, and the value of y will be constant throughout the program, or
Throughout the program. That is what I told earlier. Y is the global variable and it's going to be constant everywhere. Wherever the same variable name encountered within your program, the same value gets substituted everywhere. For example, here I'm having C is equal to A plus B plus Y. Then I'm having D is equal to Y minus C. There is also another line also I'm having. So instead I'm going to add A comma B comma C comma D. Okay, so now if I see, I'm going to return only D. Okay, now the thing is here also 8 gets substituted because I gave the value 8 here. So here also 8 gets substituted. Here also 8 gets substituted. The value is constant. Global variable value is constant. Wherever you encountered, the same value gets substituted. Okay, Papa?
okay, sir.
Then having any other doubts?
Sir,
Tell Pa.
can the class operator can be same as the member variable, sir?
Class name is same as member name.
Can it be?
No, I'm not getting your question clearly, Pa. Class
So
name.
you have class name can also be same as the member variable, sir, inside the class. You have
Variable. I entered Ahmad. Yeah, Ahmad.
Yeah, here you have in the void menu you have entered Ahmad A, sir.
Ahmad A. So that is what I explained still. So Ahmad A is the object. So A is the representative.
Sorry, sir. Objects. So the object can be same as that member variable. You have also entered.
No. We cannot enter like that. For example, I wrote like that. So here I wrote A, B, C, D. But here I want to use apart from that, because I used already y, I used already a comma b comma c comma d, so I can use a1. Okay, ma'am?
Okay.
So if it is same means there will be a clash or ambiguity occurs. So there is no same name between the variable we declared under the class and the representative name. That is the object name. Okay, wow. For example purpose only I took because previously I had n. Then any other doubts, pa? No doubts. Shall I move to the next one? Students,
Yes, sir.
shall I move to the
Yes,
next
sir.
one? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine. So I'm going to tell pa. Any doubts? Okay. So with this, I'm going to move to the next one. So instead of this one, what I'm going to do here means I'm going to after public, I'm going to have only integer, comma a, comma b, comma c, comma d, putting the semicolon, and then I am going to close this class. So what I'm going to do means right now I'm going to invoke the last section, that is in the structure of C++ we discussed method declaration, that is function declaration. So if the problem requires, we are going to declare and define the particular function outside the class, but most of the time we declare within the class only, but some cases we are going to declare and define the function outside the class. So how we are going to make this means we are going to use like this. So under class we are going to have that function declaration alone. That is, if you are putting semicolon, then it is going to be called as a declaration. If there is no semicolon, but you are having opening and then closing brace, then it is going to be called as the definition. So this declaration and then definition combinedly or collectively called as function prototyping. So this is called as the declaration portion. So this is called as definition portion. So function definition.
Sir,
Yeah, Telpa.
sir, like if we are putting semicolon, then it will declare that object.
Declare the object in the sense. I'm not getting
Like
it.
you are saying, if we put semicolon, it will declare that.
Declaring, only declaring,
And
not
if we
defining at
remove
all.
that semicolon, then it will call that function, right?
No, no. It is semicolon itself. Semicolon. Yeah, you are right. You are right. In the function declaration portion, after that, it will go for the function definition. It will search for the function definition,
Yeah.
whether it's present or not. So from the main function, you are calling that a1 dot add, that is using the member access operator. So that member access operator redirect the execution point to integer add, that is function declaration. That function declaration searches for its own definition. If the definition present means it going to proceed, or else it not going to proceed. Instead, it going to throw an error to the user. That is what. Clear, pa?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is what the function declaration and this is what the function definition. The main thing is after coming out of the class, I told that there is no real meaning or there is no meaning at all if anyone comes out of the class. So maybe a member variable, maybe a member function. So I declared the function name add. within the class. But after the class only, I having the definition or wrote the definition. So here with this, there is no meaning at all because it came out. Once it came out of the class, the lifetime gets vanished. So for this, what I am going to do means I am going to use one more operator called scope resolution operator. I will write that. The syntax for that is class name. I gave a summit. So class name. Then I'm going to put double colon. Then I'm going to put double colon. Then the data type of the function and then the function name. So this particular double colon. So I will write it here. Double colon. We call that as scope resolution operator. It means I told that lifetime gets evacuated once it is came out of the class. So we want to resolute anyway. That is what the scope resolution operator. So if you are using like this means the scope or the lifetime persists to that particular function. Otherwise, we cannot use that or we cannot define that function anyway. Maybe you can define the function in your program, but in anywhere of your program, you cannot use. That is what the thing. So this is what the member function outside the class. Previously, the program we discussed is called or the example for member function inside the class. Now, this is the example for member function outside the class. Guys, I mean, are you getting my point? Clear?
No, sir. Sir, can you
Tell
explain
me.
again?
Okay. So there are two concepts available under class container. One is member function within the class. Second thing, member function outside the class. It means member function means whatever the function name we are having, it is the part of the class. So we are calling that as a member function. So if the declaration portion and the definition portion within the class means no issues at all. If you declare the function within the class, but you are going to define the function outside the class, means there is a problem arises. Means, one example, you are in the class 3 naval, third year naval classroom. Once you get out of the class, you has no meaning at all. That is what I told. But within the campus, your name continues as third year naval student only. Maybe if you are getting out of the campus of Amat University also, you are the student of Amat. So that is what the scope resolution. Once you coming out, we can also refer with the help of this. That with the help of this in the programming, we are using scope resolution operator. So there are two diversions inside the class, outside the class. The previous example I told us inside the class, but this example is for outside the class. So outside the class, you want to define means you are not required to define as it is or as such because there is no point or no meaning at all for defining the function name outside the class because once it gets out of the class, we have no meaning at all. For that, we are having the class with its name, and then we are using the operator called scope resolution operator. With that, we are going to resolve or overcome this problem. This is what this example. Are you clear right now, or I want to explain more, or in any other way? Some other way I want to explain. Student asked doubt. Who is that? I'm not knowing the name. Is it clear to you, or I want to explain again?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yeah. So these are the two diversions: inside the class, outside the class. Okay, ba? So this is the use of scope resolution operator, because you already studied C programming. So in the C programming, you studied various operators. So apart from regular C operators, we are also having this member access operator, scope resolution operator, and one more thing, increment and decrement operator. Those are all available in C++ in addition to regular C programming operators. Okay, ma'am. So this is what I want to share. So with this, I'm going to end up the session. So I'm going for a small summarization, then we can go for attendance. So far we discussed the structure of C++. That is the global, sorry, first one is the header file declaration, then second one is the global declaration, third one is the class declaration, fourth one is the main function, and at last, if any function or method we are having, we are going to declare outside. That is what the last one. So header files, here we are having all header files, all the statements, whatever we are using in our program. Then global declaration, we are going to declare most probably the variable as a global one. So wherever the variable name encountered within our program, the initialized value for that variable gets substituted. That is what. The next one, class container. Within the class container, we are having the member variables and member functions. The next one, main function. So main function, we are having the class name and the representative for class name, that is referred as an object. So class name and then object name. So with that object name only, we are going to point, or we are going to call the member functions available under the class. So for this, we are using the operator called member access operator. So in the class also, we are having two flavors. One is the member function inside the class, and another one is member function outside the class. So member function inside the class, in the sense, you are going to declare, you are going to define the function within the class itself. But the second flavor get differs in the declaration and definition. So you are declaring the function name within the class. You are going to define the function name outside the class. So once the function name gets out of the class, there is no real meaning at all. To resolve this, we are going to use one more operator called scope resolution operator. So this scope resolution operator going to give the meaning for that function, whatever you declared under the class. There is a two colons. That is what the scope resolution operator. So far we discussed this only. So by this, I'm going to conclude the class. So is there any QA apart from this?
Sir,
Is there any QA, question and answers, if any? Or else I can go for the last section, that is attendance.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, in class you call the function, no, sir?
In the
Int
class,
add
I call the
function.
function.
Yes,
I
sir.
having the
So,
function.
yes, sir. So, in void main also you can call, sir.
In the void main also we can call. In the function, sorry, in the class, I declare the function only.
No, sir.
In the
You
outside the
wrote.
class, no, in the, wait, I will show the program. Wait.
Oh, okay.
Maybe there may be a little bit confusion for you, I guess. So this is what the thing. So here I call the function with the representative, that is object name. So a1 dot add. So from this, it will go to the function declaration of the class. So function declare, but there is no definition at all. So it's going to search for its definition. So after that only it executes. Clear?
No, sir.
Uh.
Now you change it to class amount as colon int add, no,
Ah.
sir.
Yeah,
That means
that is
it.
outside the function.
That
Outside the
means it.
class, outside the class.
That means it's only for class, no, sir.
Yeah, this function definition belongs to the class submit.
So how can we call in void main, sir?
How can we call means with the help of the void main only, the main function only, we are going to call all the things, whatever you declare under the classes. My main function is the, as the name itself reveals it, is the main function. So whatever the member variables, whatever the member functions you declared under class or classes, you are going to call from the main function only. Here I wrote definition. That is what I clearly specify. It's a definition. This is a declaration. This is a definition. So uh, if you want to have the result, then you want to call the same member function from the main function only. So if you want to use add function, you want to call from the main function only. From that only you can call, and then you can get access to all those operations. So this is separate. This is separate. This is
Okay,
just
sir.
a declaration and definition. But this is calling. So once the call established means only you will get the result. Otherwise, you can declare, you can define, but nowhere in the program it can be used.
Okay, sir.
Okay, va? So
Okay.
this is calling, this is declaration and definition. For example, if I am calling your name Rohan, if I call him Rohan, you are responding. But without calling your name, I am expecting any answer from yourself means you are itself not knowing that, myself also not knowing that. So I am also waiting, you are also waiting. Now you are asking doubts, I am clarifying your doubts. So after clarifying your doubts, I am waiting for your response, but you are also waiting means there is a no meaning at all. The same thing also here. So whether I declared and defined the function, but no point of calling, then there is a no meaning of this member function. Are you clear right now?
Clear, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay, pa. So last part we came. That is the attendance portion. So once you give the attendance, you can leave the session. Okay, pa.